This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends, and you believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, and you stay in Wonderland, and I showed you just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Follow me.
Hello Internet, Jojo here, and welcome to IdeaShock. Now, I imagine that just because of the title of this video, some of you have already hit the dislike button and are down in the comments telling me how horrible a person I am for even suggesting such blasphemy. Of course, that's fine, that's what the dislike button and the comments are there for. But, just so you know, I don't make arguments without evidence. And that is what we're going to talk about today. Now, where else should we start except offensive power? When we start talking about power, Naruto does in fact have the advantage for now. But the power gap is not as wide or as important as you might think. You see, in Death Battle Sasuke vs Hiei fight, they put this on one of the little cards in the corner. Applying this power to Naruto, and he should max out at about 63.5 zetatons of TNT. This means that Naruto could definitely destroy a planet, but Luffy is actually not that far away from this kind of power. A while ago, I calculated Luffy's power to be somewhere around 32 zetatons of TNT, or if you don't believe me, you can just scale Luffy to what I calculated for Zoro. But whatever, neither of them are particularly important. Even if you do give this 32 zetatons to Luffy, he's still only about half as strong as Naruto. However, that doesn't actually matter because Luffy has advanced Armament Haki, H-A-K-I. While the exact details of how advanced Armament Haki work are vague, we do know that it allows Luffy to attack from the inside out. From just that description, we can extrapolate that the advanced version of Armament Haki grants Luffy the ability to attack someone by bypassing their durability, and really, the only way to do this would be to affect the molecular, atomic, or subatomic level. The thing is, we know that an attack like this would seriously hurt Naruto, as Kaguya was able to kill a shadow clone with an attack that acts very similar. Kaguya bypassed the clone's durability so effectively that the clone itself didn't explode in a puff of smoke, it just melted. It's almost like it didn't even register the damage, which is what would happen if you attacked someone at a level smaller than the molecular. In fact, everyone who fought Kaguya assumed that even Naruto's healing factor wouldn't be able to do anything to stop him from dying if he did get hit. This is likely due to the fact that when you cut molecules or split atoms, they can no longer heal because they've been damaged beyond what any healing can fix. Think of it like Velcro. When a person is hurt, the Velcro rips apart. But in time, the human body will rejoin both sides together, healing the wound. However, cutting things like atom or molecules is like completely removing half of the Velcro strip, leaving there no way to join it back together. Of course, to be fair, we don't know if this is how advanced Armament Haki works, but we do know that there is some kind of internal rupturing going on.
Also, it should be mentioned that Armament Haki is not Luffy's only attack that acts like this. Allow me to introduce you to Luffy's Red Hawk. You see, Luffy can pull this attack off even when underwater. For those of you who don't know, for fire to work, you need three things: heat, which in this case comes from the friction of this punch's velocity, oxygen, and something to burn. The only way this attack could work underwater is that it must be stripping the H2O molecules of its oxygen atom and using it as, well, the oxygen part of the equation, and then using the hydrogen atom as the something to burn part. So if Luffy landed this on Naruto, he would be able to ignite Naruto's own blood as part of this attack. And this isn't me making some random claim. This is also supported by the fact that the Red Hawk is more often than not used as a one-hit KO move. Of course, even if Luffy has a perfect way to damage Naruto, it doesn't really matter if he's not fast enough to land the hit, right? Well, Luffy definitely is. While Naruto has been compared to his father who could teleport, let's not forget that Naruto can't teleport. In fact, we know that for an absolute certainty, teleportation does not exist in the Naruto universe. Early on in the story, we are specifically told that teleportation is just high-speed movement. I mean,
I don't know how much more evidence is needed other than that. It's explicitly stated.
It's not me calculating it, it's just stated very clearly. Heck, even Minato's body flicker technique is referred to as the second level of the Flying Thunder God technique,
And that has a specific speed, probably somewhere around 220 million miles per hour.
Also, Minato's nickname is the Golden Flash, right? Well, that implies movement. In fact, it implies light speed movement. And we know that Killer Bee was able to see some kind of movement when he made the comparison between Naruto and Minato.
The only other teleportation jutsu in the story that I can recall,
Other than the body flicker, is referred to as having a specific speed, and that most people can't physically withstand the force of being moved at this speed. However, it had to have a set speed, as the Third Raikage and Tsunade were able to react fast enough to kick Madara the moment they materialized on the battlefield. If this teleportation was instant, they would not even know what direction they were facing, and there's no way they would have landed this hit on him with their own speed, as Madara is just way faster than they are. With that out of the way, I do think that the Naruto version of teleportation is any movement faster than light, with a few other things thrown in for good measure. I think that this teleportation converts a subject down to subatomic particles, making them invisible, intangible, and undetectable. However, I do think that if the person being moved at this speed is fast enough, they can perceive their own movement. Example, Tsunade was able to time her kick perfectly to hit Madara as she materialized. Other than that, the closest that characters in Naruto get to actual teleportation are some of the space-time jutsus like Kage's dimensional doors and the Rinnegan's ability to swap objects in space. Even then, Kaguya still had to move through her doors at her own speed. It's kinda like the portal gun.
While we know that this teleportation is not actual teleportation, I do believe that Naruto is faster than light, by a pretty wide margin. In fact, when I get to 10,000 subscribers, I'm gonna be calculating that in the video. But the thing is, Luffy is way beyond him. Luffy was dodging light before he even got his second form, while Naruto has only been shown to be able to do that when he was at his strongest. So, with much greater speed, Luffy would certainly be able to land enough Armament Haki hits or Red Hogs to deal some serious damage. Also, before I forget, Luffy has an insane healing factor. He can regrow an entire tooth by just drinking a glass of milk. Seriously. Ignoring the biological fact that teeth cannot be regrown, and the knowledge that an adult tooth takes about 5 years to develop, Luffy's regeneration would have to be about 50.222 million times faster than the average human. This means that if he broke an arm, it would heal in just under 1/15th of a second. Luffy can burn off hundreds of pounds of fat in only a few seconds, and can recover from being completely dehydrated by only drinking a gulp of water. A metabolic process like that is impossibly insane. Almost Toon Force levels of insane. This is very likely better than anything Naruto has, as between the two characters, only Luffy has grown back something that cannot be regrown back. That said, this is not going to be a one-sided fight, as Naruto's best and possibly only weapon that could seriously affect Luffy, his Rasen Sharingan, is a cutting attack. However, this is useless against Haki. Haki is not a physical material. Despite the Rasen Sharingan's ability to cut cells, there's nothing to cut when it comes to Haki. No cells, no atoms, nothing. Haki is a manifestation of Luffy's willpower. Though, if Naruto did land the Rasen Sharingan on Bound Man or Snake Man's bare spot, then it would certainly do a significant amount of damage. That is assuming that this is a bare spot, as it could just be invisible Haki. Luffy could be doing the whole Batman thing. Of course, this is assuming that this could even hit Luffy. He's so fast, he could just move out of the way with plenty of time to spare. Now, Naruto also does have some skill in Genjutsu, but if Luffy does get caught, he could likely break out using Conqueror's Haki, as disrupting the chakra flow or internal power is one of the many ways to undo a Genjutsu. Though, it's pretty unlikely that Naruto would actually even use one, as he's no Sasuke, and I can't think of a single time that he actually did use a Genjutsu in the entire series. So, with the power gap not being that wide, Luffy being way faster than Naruto, and having two ways to bypass Naruto's defense with Armament Haki and Red Hawk, it would not take much to bring Naruto down. Sure, Naruto has far greater training in hand-to-hand, but let's not forget that Luffy is no slouch either. He's fought Zoro, who is a master swordsman, the world's greatest Yokozuna. If you're up to date with the Baki series, then you know how OP those guys are. Luffy beat Z, who is a marine who taught the admirals how to fight, took out Douglas Bullet, who was briefly on Goldie Roger's crew, and is specifically compared to Silver's Rayleigh, took the win from Katakuri, who most people thought was literal perfection, and one-shot some of the most skilled fighters in the New World while in Dressrosa. Naruto, on the other hand, has fought no one like Luffy. Even his advanced hand-to-hand combat would be pretty much pointless because Luffy's made of rubber and has a far greater hand-to-hand combat attack range. I can already see it. Some of you telling me in the comments how Luffy has been hurt by brute force. To that I say, who? Nami? Oda confirmed that she's hitting his spirit. It's kinda like when a girlfriend slaps her boyfriend, it hurts because of the emotions behind it. Also, that's a gag. If you wanted to use that argument, I could say that Naruto is weak because Sakura hitting the ground made him scared for his life.
I am never, ever talking back to Sakura or making her mad ever again! She'll destroy me!
Kizaru? Okay, I'll give you that. Congratulations, Luffy can take minimum damage from someone smacking him at light speed. Just so you know, when an object moves at light speed, it reaches infinite mass. So, Luffy's weakness is infinity. Congratulations, I believe you played yourself. How about Kaido? Well, Kaido hurting Luffy was probably advanced Armament Haki. After all, it's invisible. Garp, probably the same reason. Most other times that you could bring up evidence for someone hurting Luffy with blunt force can be explained away. Sure, Luffy can be scratched by a punch. Scratching your opponent is quite common in combat sports. Also, just because he's rubber doesn't mean that he does not need basic bodily functions like blood flow and oxygen. But, for the sake of argument, let's say that Luffy is able to be damaged by Naruto. It doesn't really matter because Naruto will never land something that would kill Luffy. After all, he can also see into the future. Comparing Luffy to Katakuri and looking at the anime, Katakuri could see somewhere around 3 minutes in the future. That's an entire fight. Luffy could know the outcome of the fight before the fight even started. Just try telling me that Luffy couldn't do something with 3 minutes of knowing exactly what his opponent's going to do. Even if you hold to the idea that Luffy can only see 3 or 4 seconds into the future, that is still a massive amount of time, especially when you're moving as fast as Luffy can. Seriously, try giving your average Olympic sprinter a 5-second head start against Usain Bolt and see what happens. All this is not even mentioning how Haki might be able to counter chakra. Haki is an external power source that restrains internal. So a normal Haki punch might be able to pass right through Naruto's chakra cloak and hit him. So what we do have is Luffy being far faster, can damage Naruto with Haki, both normal and advanced. Luffy has at least some defense against blunt force and can see the future. Sure, Naruto is stronger and has much more combat variety, but not that much. And let me remind you again, Luffy can see the future. The biggest problem that Luffy has is if he gets angry, as he won't be able to use his observation Haki as well. But that argument's incredibly weak, because then I could just say that Luffy could kill Naruto when he attempts to use Talk no Jutsu. Those are character traits that should be ignored and make no difference in the fight. Luffy also doesn't appear to have any major time constraints with his more powerful forms now, or loses Haki once they run out. Though, even if that still did happen, he's still fast and incredibly strong. As I said before, Luffy was dodging lasers and splitting skies long before Gear 2nd and even longer before Haki. Assuming that he does run out of Haki when he's in a fight with Naruto, he still has Gear 2nd and 3rd. Luffy has all this, and One Piece isn't even over yet. For him to get and keep the title of Pirate King, he's going to have the power to defend it. For him to be Pirate King, he must be far stronger than any other pirate, especially all the Emperors. This means he will have to become stronger than Gold Roger was, who was at least on par with Whitebeard, and Luffy's going to beat Blackbeard sometime, and Blackbeard has 2 ways to destroy the planet, Quake or Black Hole. So Luffy has to be able to match that, or he won't be the Pirate King, he'll just be another Pirate Emperor. As I mentioned before, to destroy the One Piece planet, a person would need to produce about 29,000 Yoda tons of TNT. That's about 460,000 times more power than what Naruto has. So, by the end of One Piece, Luffy will be faster, more powerful, more durable, have a better healing factor, far more actual combat experience, can see the future, has multiple ways to bypass defense, the ability to canonically become stronger in the middle of a fight, possibly be immune to any blunt force attack, and has the advantage in close combat. That is what makes a Pirate King. I feel like I need to say, I don't hate Naruto, but the entire purpose of both series are different. Naruto is about a character becoming accepted, but One Piece is about a character seeking freedom. Only one of these series requires the main character to be stronger than everyone else. Naruto did not have to be the strongest in order for him to become the Hokage, but the Pirate King is the Pirate King for a reason. He is the strongest. That said, thanks for watching. See you next time. Remember to stay spectacular. JoJo, out.
もちろんだ。俺は海賊王になる男だ。